The golden glow of a late afternoon sun stretched long shadows across a quiet, winding country road. Emily Collins, a petite 9-year-old with determined eyes, made her way home from school with a kind of steady grace that only came from facing more struggles than most her age could imagine. Her footsteps were small but firm, each one kicking up tiny clouds of dust and dislodging loose pebbles along the way. Her backpack, faded from use and stitched at the seams, tugged heavily at her shoulders, not just from the weight of textbooks, but from the small, bundled toolkit wrapped in an old cloth inside. That set of tools was a gift from her Uncle Matthew, a mechanic who believed every kid should know how the world worked, especially under a car hood. As she hummed a quiet tune to herself, lost in thoughts of school and dinner, a sleek black Mustang GT caught her eye. It was parked awkwardly on the side of the road. And it definitely hadn't been there that morning. With its hood propped open like a wounded bird and a man in a crisp suit pacing beside it, it was clear something had gone wrong. The man's voice was sharp, full of tension. He barked into his phone. "I don't care if I miss the meeting. I'm stuck on County Road 16 with a car that's dead, and the nearest mechanic can't get here for hours." Emily slowed her steps, curiosity lighting her face as she observed the scene. This man clearly didn't belong in rural New York. His tailored, probably designer, suit shimmered under the sunlight. His dark hair was immaculately styled. And even from several feet away, she caught the flash of a luxury watch. Definitely the kind of thing her uncle couldn't afford in a year's work. "Fine. I'll figure it out myself," he snapped, ending the call with a sigh of defeat and shoving the phone into his pocket. His eyes fell back on the engine, as if sheer frustration might bring it back to life. Emily's instinct to help kicked in, the same one her uncle had always encouraged. "Knowledge means nothing if you're not willing to share it," he used to say. Taking a breath, Emily stepped closer. "Excuse me, sir," she called gently. "You're having trouble with your car?" Startled, the man turned. His face showed surprise as he took in the small girl standing confidently by his car. Jack Reynolds, a titan in the New York real estate scene, a man whose name sent waves of fear through boardrooms, was now completely humbled by a broken-down vehicle and a 9-year-old offering help. "It's just a little issue," he replied with a tight smile, trying not to sound condescending. "Nothing serious. Shouldn't you be on your way home?" Emily shrugged with a small grin and moved closer, peering under the hood. "I know a thing or two about engines. My uncle's a mechanic, and he teaches me every chance he gets." Jack chuckled, amused but clearly not convinced. "That's sweet, really. But this is a high-performance car. It needs someone who knows what they're doing." "Maybe," Emily said thoughtfully, setting her bag down. "But professionals are just people who know what to look for, right?" Before Jack could object, she was already leaning over the engine. Careful not to dirty her school clothes, she examined the machinery with narrowed eyes and surprising focus. "When did it start acting up?" she asked, all business now. "Around 20 minutes ago," Jack replied, watching her closely. "It began overheating and then just shut off." Emily nodded slowly, her mind working. "Did you smell something sweet? Like syrup?" Jack blinked. "Yes. Wait, how did you know that?" "Coolant leak," she said matter-of-factly, pointing to a small puddle forming under the car. "See that? It's dripping out. That's what made it overheat." Jack followed her finger, stunned. "You've got to be kidding," he muttered. "Nope," Emily replied, reaching into her backpack. "Good thing Uncle Matthew makes me carry an emergency kit." As she pulled out a roll of high-temp tape and a pouch of coolant sealer, Jack took a closer look at her, really looked. She was small, clearly from modest means, but there was a fire in her eyes. Something beyond her years. Quiet strength. She went to work without hesitation, explaining each step of the patch as if he were the student, and she the master. It was humbling. "Give it 10 minutes to settle," she said at last, wiping her hands on a towel. "Then add water to the radiator. That should carry you into town." Jack, still reeling, followed her directions with a strange sense of awe. He'd spent years commanding boardrooms, but here in the middle of nowhere, he felt completely outmatched by this little girl. "I'm Jack, by the way," he said, offering his hand. "Jack Reynolds. Emily Collins." She shook it firmly. "Nice to meet you, Mr. Reynolds." But as their hands touched, something shimmered in the sun, a ring on Emily's finger. Deep red, oversized for her hand, and tied with thread to keep it from slipping. Jack froze. "That ring," he breathed. His voice was suddenly distant, almost haunted. Emily looked down. "It was my mom's. She told me it symbolized a very special promise. She passed away last year." "I'm sorry," Jack murmured. But inside, his thoughts were racing. That ring, it tugged at something in him. A memory. A shadow of the past. When the engine roared to life again, Emily beamed with pride. Jack, though, was lost in thought. "Can I give you a ride home?" he asked suddenly. "You saved my day, it's the least I can do." She hesitated, then nodded. "Thanks. That would be nice." The drive was quiet at first, but Jack couldn't stop glancing at the ring on her finger, the ruby catching the light in ways that stirred emotions he couldn't name. Finally, he broke the silence. "That ring. It's unusual. Did your mom ever say where it came from?" Emily fiddled with the ring absent-mindedly. "She said someone very important gave it to her. Told her to keep it safe. And that one day, I might understand why." Jack's grip tightened on the steering wheel. His mind buzzed with possibilities. "When we stop, could I take a closer look at it?" Emily nodded, sensing something deeper behind his words. When they arrived at a small apartment complex, she gently slipped off the ring and handed it to him. The thread unraveled slightly as Jack turned it over in his hand. His breath caught. The filigree. The vines. The initials woven into the gold. His voice was a whisper. "Olivia Reynolds." "What?" Emily asked. Jack stared at her in disbelief. 15 years ago, I gave this exact ring to a little girl named Lily. She lived at Sunshine Children's Home. I promised I'd come back for her." Emily's eyes widened. Sunshine. My mom used to say that name in her sleep sometimes. Like it was a bad memory. Jack felt his world tilting. "Was your mom's name Sarah Collins? Did she work at that home?" Emily nodded. "She was a nurse, I think. She adopted me when I was 2. I don't remember much before that." Jack was silent, too many puzzle pieces falling into place at once. He started to speak, but the apartment door swung open. "Emily, where have you been?" A man in his 40s called out, rushing toward them. "Uncle Matthew. This is Mr. Reynolds. I helped fix his car and he gave me a ride home." Matthew sized up Jack. Suit, car, charm, with a mechanic's guarded eye. "Well, that was decent of you," he said, voice cool. "Emily's good with engines." "She's brilliant," Jack agreed. He hesitated, then offered a business card. "I'd like to talk sometime. About her."